Hello everyone, good morning. A good start to the first day of the events. Welcome you all. So I would like to talk about how the daily jobs look like when Kubernetes release happens, with the challenges we face, the tools we use, and the operations we do. So yeah, it's not just the simple Kubernetes release, but I would also like to focus on how we make it sustainable release, right? So yes, because these days sustainability is an important thing. So yes, anyone working with Kubernetes knows how hard it is to put over the Kubernetes release. So yes, focusing on the insights into the daily life, tools and the methodologies, the release engineers have a strong identity of ecological considerations at every step. So we will explore one by one. So a little about me before I start. I am working as a software quality engineer at Red Hat with the OpenShift container platform team. So yeah, and apart from my full-time job, I also like to contribute to the upstream. So yes, I was the part of Kubernetes release for the 8 cycles with the different teams. Lastly, I worked as a branch manager and previously as an associate. And also I was a lead in the CI signal team for 128. So yeah, that's me. So what we are going to explore today is, I will give you a brief overview, a quick one for the newbies, that how release lifecycle looks like, and then we will see what challenges we are facing and how everybody involved in the release try to overcome that, and then what is the importance of efficient and sustainable release processes with the help of the automation tools. So yeah, that's a little about the session. So yes, let's start with taking a little bit of overview of release cycle. So it's a collaborative process that brings together a global community to deliver new features, bug fixes, and the security updates multiple times a year. So each Kubernetes release goes through different stages like planning, development, alpha, beta, stabilization, and the final release. So release team comprises of experts in the release engineering, documentation, and the community management, which coordinates to ensure each version meets the Kubernetes high standards, right? So initially the planning phase identifies the key features and the objectives for an upcoming release. Then the maintainers set a roadmap and the timelines. During the development phase, works on the contributors who have been assigned to the features, work on it, and with the help of the extensive CI/CD streamline pipelines, we validate it. So yes, that's how we reach to the development phase. Then Kubernetes employs Prow tool, which is an automated testing system, which we will talk about in later slides. And yes, the main role is for branch managers, so which is responsible for doing the release cuts according to the timelines. So yes, let's go to the next step. So yes, I don't have right now access to the live demo, because I am not right now a release manager. I was in the previous cycle. So I thought to attach a thread which happened in the previous cycle. So yes, you can see what are the different stages, how I can perform the command. If you want to know more, you can join the release management channel on the Kubernetes Slack, and also feel free to ask questions. So yes, now after getting a little bit of overview about the release life cycle, let's see what are the challenges the managers or everyone involved in the team face. So there are multiple challenges, but we will discuss few. So one is complexity of the ecosystem. Now everybody knows that Kubernetes is not a monolithic application, but a highly distributed system composed of various components like nodes, ports, controllers, and APIs, which interacts across the network layers and infrastructure. So each layer has its own configuration, dependencies, and stability requirements, which makes the Kubernetes ecosystem both flexible and complex. Now let's take a little bit scenario. When creating a new release, the branch manager must ensure the compatibility between core Kubernetes components such as API server, kubelet, and kubeproxy. Now a change in one component can disrupt another and potentially leading to failure or some unexpected behavior, right? Now let's see what can be another challenge. Coordination among the teams. As I said, release team comprises of multiple sub-teams like enhancement team, release signal team, communications team, branch manager, release notes. So yes, we need to coordinate all those who are involved. So yes, it is a multi-team effort, which is another challenge. We need to keep everyone on the same page. So depending on the specific roles to ensure the successful release. So yeah, and let's see another one, rapid changes and updates. So it is an open source project with rapid development cycles, typically releasing 3 versions every year. So each release includes new feature, performance improvements, bug fixes, security fixes, and this fast pace can create challenges. So as teams must continuously learn, make an effort, adapt and balance the demands of the new features with the need to maintain stability. So, and the major one is, as said, security and the compliance concerns. Now security is the paramount for the Kubernetes, which especially gives its widespread use in the production environments, right? So every day there are multiple vulnerabilities to ensure, to address and to maintain the compatibility with the container runtimes, security standards. Now release engineers and the branch manager must also be consider the security implications when deprecating or modifying components. After looking at the challenges, let's see what are the efficient solutions for the sustainable release process. So yes, why efficiency matters? Someone might be wondering. So yes, it reduces overhead. Streamlining the release process minimizes the intervention, reducing the resource consumption. Secondly, it improves the speed and the quality. So efficient processes means faster, more reliable release timelines, reducing operational load and ensuring the predictable upgrades. Secondly, sustainability in cloud native development. So by optimizing tools and pipelines, the Kubernetes release team can limit the resource usage, conserve the energy and minimizing the carbon footprints. So ecological consideration in Kubernetes release are not only about the cutting cost, but are essential for the sustainable infrastructure management. Now by focusing on the resource optimization, efficient CI/CD practices, node scaling and image management, Kubernetes practitioners can contribute to greener cloud technology. So these strategies ensure that Kubernetes clusters are not only performant and reliable, but also have a reduced environmental impact. So these practices help Kubernetes becoming a model for the sustainable cloud native deployments. So let's see quickly the strategies. So firstly, optimizing resource allocation through port scaling and resource requests. So yes, in Kubernetes, effective resource management means reducing the unnecessary workload and avoiding the resource wastage. Now the efficient allocation of resources such as CPU, memory and storage ensures that the workload consume only what they are needed, right? Minimizing the ideal resource usage. Now this strategy is central to ecological consideration in Kubernetes, but as it is directly impacts the energy consumption across the whole cloud infrastructure. Now let's take a real world example. For example, let's say there is a large e-commerce platform runs on the Kubernetes. serving the millions of users. But during the off-peak hours, user traffic drops significantly, leaving many ports underutilized. Now, in response, the team implements auto-scaling based on the traffic demands and automatically scaling down the services when not needed. So, yes, this could be a good example. Secondly, what we can do is container image optimization and image promotion. So, the size of the container images directly affects the deployment efficiency and network transfer load. So, smaller images requires less bandwidth and lead to the faster deployment times, translating to lower energy consumption. And Kubernetes release often involves promoting image across different environments, and optimized image make this process more sustainable. So, also we can consider that, let's take an example of some financial service company which relies on the Kubernetes for its real-time analytics platform. Now, each update involves disrupting new container images across a distributed environment. Now, to make this process more efficient, the team focuses on the minimizing image size by removing the unnecessary dependencies and files. Thirdly, leveraging node efficiencies and sustainable node scaling. So, what we can consider is Kubernetes cluster often run on the Kubernetes to manage its fleet tracking system. So, to improve sustainability, they converge their cluster to prioritize node scaling. Now, based on the real-time demand, as said earlier, but this is a kind of different thing you can do, cluster autoscaler. So, as per the need, you can assign the values. This approach ensures that the only required number of nodes are active at any time, reducing the power consumption by almost you can say 40% during the non-peak hours, which significantly lowers the environmental footprint of the Kubernetes cluster. Now, this one mostly would be known by many. So, policy-driven resource limits for pods and namespaces. So, this is kind of a resource quota. Setting resource limit ensures that pods and namespaces use only the resource they require, and by setting the CPU limits and memory constraints, administrators can prevent resource wastage, optimize cluster utilization, and indirectly reduces the power consumption of underlying infrastructure. So, yes, example can be considered as an healthcare provider which uses the Kubernetes for handling patient data and running the predictive models. So, given that the sensitive nature of the healthcare data, that Kubernetes administrators enforce that resource quota would be avoid to run away the resources and ensure fair usage across the applications. And the last one can be image promotion strategies to reduce the redundant pools. This is mostly common use where people don't want to do the repetitive image pull. So, yes. Now, let's move to the automation tools, like how we are resolving all these challenges and make the release sustainable. So, yes, Kubernetes project have established one of the most robust and the automated process in the open source community, which supports the rapid development through testing and reliability delivery. So, due to the Kubernetes complexity and the rapid iteration, automation and tooling are the most crucial part, right? So, yes, in the real world context, Kubernetes releases impact a range of industries, from finance to healthcare to entertainment. Now, since they are driven the cloud native infrastructure that these sectors rely on, the journey of the Kubernetes release involves hundreds of contributors, multiple iterations of testing, and the variety of automation tools that together make it possible to make the efficient release. Now, process is highly modular, but with the specialized tools of managing the specific aspects, we can address a sustainable release. So let's take an example, what tools we are using. So one is release branch management with Grail. This is highly used in performing. You might have also seen in the thread I attached. So yes, this is one of the example I have put in here. So yeah, it is a command line tool which simplifies and automates the Kubernetes release process. And it also handles the branch management, version tagging and release cards. Now tasks that are essential for the maintaining that structured progression of the release. The main benefit of using Krell is to the release managers, which can reduce the manual efforts and directly prevent the errors and can address the release cards as per the timeline. Second is continuous integration and testing with PRAO. So yes, as said, Kubernetes is having the strong CI/CD system. So yes, with Kubernetes receiving the constant contributions from developers around the globe, automated testing is critical to ensure, which doesn't introduce bugs and reduce the not needed which degrades the performance. Now PRAO triggers thousands of tests at a particular time, but on every pull request, running E2E test suites across various Kubernetes components to catch the potential issues only. Real world example can be considered as like when a developer submits a pull request, you might have seen, to update some functionality, but that change must be validated across different configuration to confirm that no single component can be disrupted. So yes, it is useful in that way. The third one is image building promotion with the K8s container image promoter. So this happens every time in the release cycle when we are when the image promotion happens. So yes, the K8s container image promoter, also known as CIP tool, which automates the management, validation and promotion of the container images through different stages of the release pipeline. Now by handling image promotion, this tool ensures that only validated and signed images are deployed, which what it does is it minimizes the risk by associated with the release untested and the potentially vulnerable code. So yes, during the release process, this you can implement. After a particular version is released, you can import it as an image and can use it in the production ahead. So yes, this is the one thing. Thirdly, which is documentation and release note automation with the release notes command. So yeah, this is the one of the CLI tool, which syntax is here mentioned. Grail release notes, and there are several flags. You can read more in the documentation. So what it does it generates the comprehensive release documentation after once the cut is happened, and which includes the features list, feature list, bug fixes, and also the breaking changes. So whatever it is deprecated or something new, or it will appear over there, and which automates the extraction of the PR titles and summaries, which creates the structured release note. You might have also seen in the emails released by the managers. So yes, this is the one tool. Lastly, real-time monitoring and coordination with GitHub boards. So yeah, K8 CI robot is one of the famous tool which is used in this project. So yes, what it does from labeling issues and pull requests to notify the reviewers and managing test requests, it does everything. So this board also plays a crucial role in managing the CI pipeline, notifying maintainers about build or test failures that could impact a release timeline. If someone is not aware of some failures happening, so it will helpful to address it quickly. So yes, delay will not happen. So yes, it is also useful when merge conflict happens. So yeah, I would like to end this presentation here. If anybody have questions, yes.
Thank you. Earlier, you were talking on an earlier slide about leveraging the node efficiencies and sustainable node scaling. That was under the process with ecological considerations. You remember that? The one part you said, I was really curious. You said multi-stage builds enable reduced image sizes up to 60%, lowering bandwidth and storage consumption, reducing overall energy use. I was just curious. Did you have any idea what any numbers around the energy use reduced by the reduced image sizes and lower bandwidth and storage?
So are you talking about when I said that it reduces the?
It was on like a much earlier slide. Maybe go back like 10 slides. I'll tell you. Keep going. Keep going. Let's see. Wait. I think that might have been. Go back to the next one. The one. We'll go forward one, please. What back? There you go. I think that was it. Yeah. No.
So yeah, what the concern is?
No, this isn't the one, but maybe this is it. Yeah, this is 60%. So it reduces image sizes. Okay, yeah. So I was just trying to figure out if you knew what the reduction in energy use was.
So yeah, it ultimately like it's kind of, as I said, that container, it is a kind of container image optimization, right? If we are building it multiple stages, this is kind of multi-stage Docker file, right? So the thing is you don't have to repeat it again and again, and it will use the resources in the less amount. So you can say it is, we are utilizing the less amount of resources. So yes, this is a way by building a multi-stage Docker file. I hope I have helped. Yeah.
And I actually have a related question for the same slide.
Okay.
What a coincidence, right? In the second stage there, it says from Alpine 316.
Yeah.
I wonder, I have a related question there. With Alpine, one of the gotchas historically has been networking and DNS specifically. And I wonder if Alpine there is mentioned intentionally, and with your use of Alpine, have you come across those networking and DNS related problems in Kubernetes?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just put it like for reference. So yeah. Yeah, feel free to connect with me if I would appreciate any feedbacks. So yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter. Yeah, thank you so much.